Hey guys, Chauzu here. So yeah, this is my first stream in a long time. I can talk a bit more about that in a bit, but I'm happy to finally, hopefully be able to stream more regularly again. And yeah, just going to do the final setup before we can begin. Okay. Need to add so I can have the chat displayed here as well. Okay. We'll see if that works later. As people get posting. But yeah. So for this stream, we're going to be reviewing my tier list ahead of March 2024, where we'll be adding not that many legends. We got a new 6 plus in V3 Ray League who will get added. We had a normal legend in V6 Poa who debuted during a Kizuna Sugofest but is not a Kizuna legend. And now at the end of the month we're getting a new legend Blackbeard, anniversary legend, and we're getting legend Burgess. So that's what we have to look forward to. It looks like we might be getting a PvP legend just before the Blitz, and it might be that it drops during February. Then I'll add it to the March tier list. Otherwise it will be postponed to the April one, but we'll see what I decide to do there. We'll probably have the full info if we get a PvP legend. And the reason we think it might be a PvP legend is that there's an unreleased unit that is part of the Blitz booster list, and usually they only add PvP legends to that list, not PvP rare recruits, and we don't see what else it will be than that, basically. Okay. Not that many viewers yet, which is not weird. I haven't streamed for a long time. I can talk a bit about that as we wait for more people to join. But basically, the issue for me has been the fact that I have had a big rat problem here in my secondary location. And in case that doesn't make sense, basically I have two places where I can live. I have my real home where my family also lives, and we have a summer place that is very close to my work and is free most of the year, like outside of summer basically. And basically, starting a few months back around Christmas, I started noticing that we probably had a rat problem, and then it got worse from then. I even saw rats running around, so it was not pleasant, and I haven't wanted to deal with it. But it looks like as it's getting hotter in Sweden, it feels like it's finally starting to get somewhat under control. So that's great. So I hope I can start streaming at least once, maybe twice a week from now on. I remember that I need to post the stream as well. I'm not used to streaming either, so I'm forgetting the stuff I usually do. So let's get that done. Okay, let's get this posted. Stream alert. Okay, now I've alerted anyone who wants. Top 5. Hello there, Owen. You're the first one to post. And yeah, it does come up, so that's good. If you mean top 5 of the tier list, we can take a look. It's a big tier list since I have basically every legend on it. And it's not a top 5 anymore. It's like I never really planned to have a top 5. It just ended up like that in the beginning. But from the last feedback stream I did. Yes, welcome Ikiru. And yeah, in the last feedback stream, we decided together that both the 6++ Uta as well as the V2 Red Luffy should get the points they need to get 10 points. We did that and several other changes, so I'm hoping that in this stream we'll do further changes. Emily says, is there any mission that 6+ Quick Hancock can shine? Well, she's good in a variety of content, like, oh, you mean 6+. So V1 Boa Hancock. Yeah, the other Quick Hancock does not have a 6+, that's true. In theory, she should be usable against Grand Voyage Buggy. I should make a team with that. Definitely not optimal. But yeah, I should probably use her a bit. I haven't really used her. But I gave her a point since I do kind of like the general idea of the kit. I like her as a unit, but, well, the Chauzu point, I can give it as I please. I might remove it in the future. Owen says, I'm surprised Sabo made top list. Well, good time to rehash how this tier list works. And basically, units can get points in 10 different categories. Let's take a look at them. We're going to be swapping between my Google Doc and the actual tier list image. There we go. So as you see here, we have 10 categories. We have the PvP category. Basically, does the unit see use in PvP on offense or defense? Treasure map. Does the unit see regular use in treasure map against mini bosses mainly? Super boss, speak for itself. Can they help against super bosses and do big damage? Parking adventures, basically if they've been used to just make a good parking adventures team in the last year or so. Most of these categories look at the last year rather than very right now. Other modes is basically Grand Voyage, mainly. Some units can get a point for Grand Party. Some units can get points for Arena. Garb Challenge technically, but I don't think I only gave 1 point for Garb Challenge. So yeah, other stuff. In the future it could be co-op as well. And these are like the mode specific points, so they can give 5 points. The coming 4 categories are the quality of the unit, like how good is the captain ability, how good is the super, if they can only use it as a captain. How good is the special compared to other good units? Are they good as a sub, or do you have to use them as a captain? In this category, I can also count stuff like super tandem and stuff like that. Uniqueness, basically, are they just another attack booster? They may be the best attack booster, but not that important, or do they have something that you really can't get from much other units? And then we have the Chauzu point, which I give myself, and I can use any reasoning I want. And I've given comments to these categories, but I've heard people can't look at them. But I've got suggestions on how to make them visible. So I'm going to take a look at that when I have the motivation, because there's a lot of these comments in this doc. But I shall start, of course, with the important ones. Okay, so that's an overview how it works. And basically, the tier list is ordered on how many points you get, and I try and give every legend as many points as I can justify. And I'm not trying to think like I don't think they should get more than 5 points, for example, but no. I try and give as many as I can, and then they get the points they get. So to get 10 points and place at the top of the tier list, they need 1 point from every category, which is pretty hard. But it means that they are viable in every aspect of the game, basically, which is why you can see some units that you don't really expect, such as, for example, Sabo and Kid here with 10 points. And I do think that the Kid won't be 10 points for much longer. I'm not going to drop him this month though. I'm thinking of looking at other stuff in this tier list. But I think Sabo will be a solid 10 pointer for quite some time. And hello there, we have Padarfong Bunsiripoka. I hope I got that right. And we got Jefferson Steelflex joining. And yeah, I'm happy to stream again. I think the rat problem I've been having here is looking better. I've spent a few hours cleaning this place as well. So I hope to at least stream once a week now, if not more. I still don't feel like sleeping here yet, but give it a few weeks and I'll probably do that, and then it will be even easier for me to stream here. But yeah, let's get working on the tier list, I think. Have you considered hiring an exterminator? It's not that easy. We've actually had one come take a look, and they think the whole apartment complex, like there's a lot of people having a house that is connected to ours, they think that the whole thing needs to get a check and get mouse proofed. But basically the way it works in Sweden with stuff like this is that we have like a board for this complex. We have to decide together. It's the money of everybody. And so far they are not very keen. Like most people only live here in the summer. And in the summer there's not really a mouse problem. How about 6+ Fanatap Law? Is it good in Training Forest? I'm not giving any unit a point for Forest of Trading, since it's not really a mode where you need anything special. Like if we got new forest and stuff, maybe we could start giving points to units with like good survivability and such, but the way things stand, you don't need to really build like that for forest. So I'm not giving any unit a point for forest right now. And if I were to give any units a point for that, it will be units with captain abilities that really let you survive easily. That really helps in forests. But yeah, let's take a look at what I have at the agenda today for this stream. If we go back to the Google Doc, these are the things I wanted to work on. We're going to double check every PvP legend, since their viability have changed a lot, of course. Let's try and make the chat window a bit prettier. A bit more small. A bit more. Or maybe I can move it a bit. Not easy. I do want to get it a bit better though. Is that good? Yeah, I just need to move it up a bit. Oops. Pressed the wrong one. Perfect. Now I'm happy. Okay. So basically, look at PvP legends, see if we can get some more points now. And honestly, I think basically every PvP legend should get a point in PvP now, since their viability in PvP increased a lot with the cost update. I also thought we'd take a look at the most recent legends released and review the points they got, if they should be getting more points. And throughout the stream, if you guys have any request, any legend you want me to take a look at, feel free to just give a shout out. I'm happy to take a look at anything you guys want to take a look at. So yeah, just post in chat, can we take a look at this unit? And we'll take a look. And I'll try and stream for quite a bit, at least an hour, maybe 2, we'll see. What about new Boa? She will be added at the end of the month. So I haven't decided points for her yet, but she will get quite a few points, I imagine. We'll see how many, like she will get a PvP point at least. Probably like a super boss points. We'll see exactly what she'll get points for. Probably not treasure map. Which quick PvP team do you think is better right now? Slash or powerhouse driven? My slasher team is still not complete. Like I have Momo now, but he's not that high level, so he won't do that much damage. So it's not as strong as my quick driven team, but I'd still probably say quick driven, especially now when we can actually use Orochi. And I do rate Orochi quite high on quick driven. And you can even run him as a lead and Kaido as a sub, and I think that will be pretty good. So I'm going to test it a bit. There's just not that many strength teams right now in PvP. I also need to remember to refresh the chat so they pop up here on the stream. But yeah, I'm going to start with PvP Legends, and if you guys have any questions or comments, Legends to check, let me know. Emily says, instead of burgers, want Amazon Lily Rayleigh with more animation, that would be more cool. Well, Rayleigh just got a legend, and I do like that we're getting a villain theme. We don't get that a lot, and I hope that they're done with Blackbeard after this, and that we'll move on to Cross Guild, and that all of them get legends that work together. That will be very fun. That's my hope and belief. But yeah, let's take a look. And if we take a look at the tier list for PvP Legends, we can take one at a time. But I noticed right away in the bottom tier 0, who got no points at all, we already can see that we have page 1 here, and he will be moving up. He's definitely viable now. Like his fixed damage does more damage now to Dex units as well, since all of these PvP Legends, except Kizaru, we won't touch Kizaru. But yeah, they do more damage against opposing color now, so page 1 actually does quite a lot of damage to Dex teams now as a sub. So yeah, he's pretty viable as a sub now on PvP, so he will finally be getting a point. So I'll write it in the Google Doc, page 1, and he gets a point in PvP. Does not need any more points than that though. We also see Orochi here, but I think Orochi already had a PvP point. No, he had a Chauzu point, so I'll give him a PvP point as well. So we add that to the doc to Orochi. Gets a point in PvP. He should maybe have had that before too, since I did use him in PvP, but this is also to fix mistakes, so to say. I see Smoothie there too, and Smoothie did not have a PvP point, she had a Chauzu point, so she gets another point as well. So PvP units will be going up a bit. I think the changes to PvP units is very good. I approve. I know that some are not that happy with it. Basically, it lets you make better teams in general, and it's not just better offense teams, but better defense teams. And of course, it means they are harder to beat. But yeah, what can you do? Garp. I know some will disagree with giving him a PvP point, but I will do it anyway because I have actually been trying him out in PvP, and he's actually pretty good now. I don't think he fits on the best teams, but he does do quite a bit of damage, and you can reliably make pretty decent Dex fighter teams. So maybe it won't last, but I'll give him a point for now. I also need to try him a bit as a sub. The problem is that Dex has so many good subs, and is Garp really worth using? But the extra damage against Quick does help for sure. Do we have any other PvP legend here? Don't see anyone. They should be at the bottom. Oh, we have Anil there. But I think he already has a PvP point. Yeah, he has a PvP point, so I won't change him there. And that should be the last one. So let's move up a bit to tier 2 and above. Yeah, that's fine. And Rise or Shinobu already have a PvP point, that's for sure. Surely Kuma has a PvP point as well. We should double check, but I can't imagine not giving a point for PvP. Yeah, he does. Rise or Shinobu as well, of course. Do we have any more here? We can see that Rayleigh is in this tier, V3 Rayleigh, so he will be definitely be getting more points. Kawamatsu, but I think I gave him a PvP point. Yes. So no more points for Kawamatsu. And yeah, that's the last one. In tier 3, do we have any PvP legend here? Don't see anyone. Tier 4. Don't see any PvP legends there. We have Apu in tier 5, but he definitely already has a PvP point, and it's very well deserved. In tier 6 we have Iwanko. That's going to be interesting to check. I doubt I gave him a PvP point, but he does deserve one now. I'm not going to say he's good in PvP, but he will see use in PvP now, because now you can build 8-man cerebral teams. I've tried it myself. I don't think it's the best. But if you do build a cerebral now, I'd say you probably want to build an 8-man team. And Iwanko will definitely be one of the subs, because cerebral does not have that many options. And he does do more damage now, so it's not the worst. It's a shame he has such high CT, but it is what it is. But yeah, another point for Iwanko, and he will go up even more, but I don't mind. I love Iwanko. I think he's one of the best legends from last year. Most fun to use, at least. Very versatile. If we look at the top, I think we have Kizaru around here. Yeah, he's in the tier 7. But yeah, he's not going to move since he doesn't got his PvP kits changed, but it'll be interesting to see if he gets a 6+ eventually. Would be very fun. It's either that or that he's getting a new mechanic, so they can't change him yet, but that will also be very weird. But yeah. And I think that's the last PvP legends. Like, there's very few great PvP legends in general. But they will see a bit more use now in PvP at least, which is a good thing in my opinion. With that, we'll move on to the next thing, which is to double check the most recent legends, see if we do any changes. And as said, if you want me to check any legend you want, just post it in my stream and we'll take a look. Otherwise, I'll just keep going by myself. And let's go back to the other window. So these are the things we're going to add so far. We're giving 5 more units a point in PvP that they didn't have before. And if we go check the recent legends, we can start from the bottom with V3 Bonnie. And I kind of realized that I severely undervalued her. Which happens, it's just to change them. So Bonnie right now has 5 points. She got my point, uniqueness point, crewmate point. Should she have a crewmate point? Is she even worth using as a sub? Let's take a look. Just need to bring her up and see what she did again with the special. Going to look it up on the DB. Bonnie as a sub. Reduces spine paralysis, orb block, HP recovery. You get a 3-turn conditional. If this character is a crewmate when the special is launched, inflicts weakened to all enemies. So she can do weakened, but as a sub she can't apply increased damage taken, but that's also not really reliable as a captain. It doesn't go through full immunity. But as a captain, she can inflict weaken through full immunities. That's what makes her really good. See, I'm a bit unsure here. The question is, do I think Bonnie will see any real use as a sub? And considering she has good utility or block and potential conditional. Let's keep it for now, I guess. We'll see if she gets any actual use as a sub. But yeah, I didn't give her any points for any modes, which does feel like a mistake. She should definitely not a PvP point. Treasure map. I don't think I will, but she's not the worst. But without boost, she doesn't have any CD reduction, so she's hard to use. But I'm definitely going to give her a point in Super Boss and a point for PKA. So that's 2 more points for Bonnie. So let's add that. She gets a point in Kisuna and a point for PKA. Okay, this is just for a reminder. So when I add the new legends later for the March tier list update, I'm going to add all of these as well, so I do everything at once. Okay, moving on to Lilith then. No point in PvP, I agree with that. No point for treasure map, I agree with that too. She already got point for Super Boss PKA. No points for other modes. I guess she can get a crewmate viability point. She has decent utility with the special. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of her design. She doesn't get a point from me. So Bonnie will end up getting more points than Lilith, which I think is fair. Treasure map Luffy. Bad in PvP. Definitely treasure map points. Since treasure map legends, they always get a treasure map point. Super Boss. The reason I didn't give him Super Boss point mainly was the Rainbow Orb manip, which is basically useless in Super Boss, so I think I'll stand by that. PKA is fair. Other modes is for Grand Voyage Buggy. Captain is pretty decent. I didn't give a point for the special, and I know I double checked it before, but we can do it again. Reduces special bind paralysis burn by 6 turns. Heals orb change, including block, top and bottom row to rainbow. Can do an attack boost, and if you have an attack boost, it's a color affinity boost instead. That's the special. And yeah, I still feel like it doesn't really stand out as much. He does stand out a lot as a captain, since you get that guaranteed conditional with a delay as well, which is really cool, and you also get the special bind removal. So yeah, as a captain, I do think he deserves the point, but as a sub, I do disagree with that. Feel free to say if you disagree with my disagreements. Moving on. Crewman viability, yeah, I don't think he's much of a sub. If you use him, it will mostly be as a captain. But we'll see if this changes in the future. So for now, I'm pretty happy with the 5 points. He could get more. We'll see. Ace, though, got so much points. The only point he didn't get was other modes. And yeah, I don't see what point he'd get there right now. He's not a great Grand Party leader, not usable in any Grand Voyage, and nothing special in Arena or any other mode. So yeah, he'll have to pray for a strength shooter or strength striker Grand Voyage, then he could get that point. Other than that, like great in PvP, great in treasure map, will definitely be usable, even when he's not boosted. Like, it depends on having the right captains, but still having a Wave Clear, that also gives a guaranteed conditional, is insane. So hard to use, but with the right speedrun captains it should be usable. If he's not, I'm going to dock this point, but I will definitely be trying myself in the future. Super Boss speaks for itself. Some issue with getting low HP and that not working with Rush, but I don't think Rush is that essential so that you can't use Ace, and there are workarounds with healing potentially. PKA point will also be interesting, like having a delay, the conditional to full immunity for 2 turns is some nice extra damage. So we'll see if that ends up being used, like I did wildly use him for the PKA before the current one. So we'll see if I end up using him again in the coming year. And yeah, Captain we could take a look at. And as said, if chat wants me to take a look at something, just post it and I'll take a look. Otherwise, I'll just keep going. Ace Captain. C reduction, shooter and striker, attack booster, up to 6 times, which is very strong of course. Strength recovery tandem matching. And the main thing is that he resists decreased chain and chain attack down in his captain by 5 turns, and that's really why he gets it, together with having a very high attack boost and some matching orbs. Like he does have a super, but that's nearly unusable due to how hard it is to use. So I don't think this Ace will get a captain point for so much longer. Eventually he will not be a super viable captain, but for now I'll let him keep it due to how unique his abilities are. And yeah, special is a no-brainer, crewmate is a no-brainer, super unique. I like him as well, so yeah. Sorosanji should be getting most points they get. 8 points right now. I'd love to give them more, but captain ability, we can take a look at that again, but I feel pretty confident about that. Sorosanji captain in Duo 4. -1 CD. Boost fighter, slasher, striker, shooter, driven, free spirit. And you need 2 of those classes, which he can give of course with his super swap and special. Makes a lot of orbs matching. Resist Sailor Despair by 10 turns. And yeah, like it's not the worst, but should he get a point for his captain? Like resisting Sailor Despair is good, but like if we compare this to Ace, it feels very comparable, and this is legit unique to resist Sailor Despair. And it does see use as captain in stuff like Grand Voyage as well. So yeah, I think I'll bite the apple and admit that he should have gotten a point. They should have got a point for that. And as said, I want to give units as many points as possible. I just have to justify it. And yeah, I can justify this. Getting another point in captain. The remaining point though, I am not going to give. They don't have a point in treasure map, and I stand by that. I don't see them being viable. Like, they have had some viability while boosted, but I'm not counting boosted here. Like, they need to be good in treasure map even when not boosted, and they just are not. Like, if you could get their super swap more reliably, like the only way I can see them getting a point here in the future is if they get support that lower their super swap count. Until then, it's not going to happen. It's not worth manually swapping in treasure map. And I'm not going to remove any other points. They are a fire unit, probably the best led in the game, even if they're not getting 10 points on my tier list. Moving on, we have V2 Yamato. And I have to ask myself right away, should they get a point in PvP? I'm very curious what you guys think. Like, I faced Yamato in PvP, and Yamato has been surprisingly annoying to face, but on paper, when I read what Yamato does, it's so bad. But somehow it does seem to work, so I think we'll do a poll for a while and see what chat thinks about this. I'm curious. Let's see. V2 Yamato. Suko duo units. Get a point in PvP. Yes, no. So yeah, I'm going to let this run for a while and we'll see what you guys think. It also gives me an idea on how many people we have actively watching. So yeah. But yeah, basically when you read what Yamato does, it's just not that great in my opinion. But then I face Yamato on defense and I've actually lost. And it doesn't feel like Yamato does a lot. And the teams looks bad, but it's still not a free win. So even if Yamato is not good on offense, maybe on defense, like I'm open to changing a point there. If we take a look at the rest, give a point for treasure map, and yes, this is because unlike Sanji, Yamato does not really need to rely on getting into the super swap. The Yamato's normal special is good enough and it does add a ton of damage and utility, so I think Yamato is a realistic unit to use and could even be captain and get those benefits and also resist some stuff. So we'll see if I end up using Yamato ever. Super Boss speaks for itself. PKA as well. We'll see how much I end up using Yamato in PKA. And other people. This is other people as well. Other modes. What did Yamato get a point for here? Usually in the past I gave a note for what they got a point for, but I'm trying to remember. What did Yamato get a point for? You can't use that Yamato in any Grand Voyage, right? Oh yeah, it's Grand Voyage, Morgan. Okay. Captain ability, yeah, that makes sense. Yamato basically needs to be captain to be good, which is why Yamato is not going to get any point for crewmates. Really bad sub should be captain most of the time. Special is really strong though. And very unique, but yeah, I'm not a fan of the unit, so Yamato is not getting a point from me. T-Man says that Yamato sucks on defense. Care Cap says it's good on defense later timing teams. And yeah, we'll see. Looks like chat is still split on this, but I'll leave it running for a while. And we'll move on from Yamato for now. Roger Oden. Good in PvP, even if I think Quick Slasher might not be the best quick team, but definitely can be used. Potentially good in treasure map. We'll see if that lasts, but like even if not used as captain, like the special for wave clearing will be used. Super Boss. We'll see if this point lasts as well. I don't think Roger Oden will be good long term, since we probably won't be getting a lot of more units for their EX, so even if Roger Oden themselves remain good, their partners will probably not, if that makes sense. And without the rush, Roger Oden's viability in Super Boss is very questionable. PKA will probably continue to stay relevant. yeah, I don't think you should really use Roger Odin as a sub. And I didn't give a point for uniqueness due to being very similar to V1 Roger. We should maybe put that to our vote as well. I need to remember that. Since this is similar to the UTA scenario, and we did end up giving the UTA units a point. So we'll see if we do the same with Roger and Odin. Because except for those two, nobody does what Roger Odin does. So I could see giving a point there, but yeah, I'm not the biggest fan either of this unit. So yeah, I guess we wait until 5 minutes have passed on this poll, and then we can do the Roger Odin poll. So I'm just going to wait until it says 5 minutes for me, and then we'll end this. Okay, now it says 5 minutes, and it's not an even count, so something wins here. Yes, won with 1 vote, I think. But yeah, I guess we're giving Yamato a point for PvP. We'll see how long it lasts. Right now, I haven't focused that much on removing points, but that will become a bigger deal as the months go on. But yeah, sure, point in PvP. A bigger point, but a point is a point. And now we'll do a vote here. I just want to double check V1 Roger. He has a point for uniqueness, so either both get a point for uniqueness or none of them gets a point, is what I'll say. So we'll see what you guys think. Do another one. Manual Man says, hi, I have 4 Kaido quick skulls. I'm missing one. Is there a way to get the last one? Not right now. Probably next Kizuna in March. You should be able to buy it. Should V1 Roger and Roger plus Odin get a point for uniqueness despite being nearly identical, not nearly being very similar? I'll let you guys decide this as well. Okay, new poll up, feel free to vote, and we'll move on from now, and we'll look at some Tama apparently, not the most exciting one. My opinion about Tama hasn't changed. I don't think we need to look here. Special is really good sub. Don't see any other uses right now. I haven't seen Green Bull used either, and I don't have Green Bull or Tama, so I can't really change opinion there. Raizo Shinobu we can talk a bit about. I've actually used Raizo Shinobu quite a bit, so we can take a look at viability with the special mainly, I think. Raizo Shinobu. So they do a lot of strength damage to all enemies end of turn, so they can bypass resilience. Remove poison blindness, good bonuses. Reduces the chain debuffs by 7 turns, also mainly a bonus. The main thing is that if captain is shooter or free spirit, you do a delay and burn conditional for 1 turn. And if captain is slasher, you ignore full immunity and delay for 1 turn. And if HP is above 91% when used to special, you reduce HP by 90%, but adds extra damage to slasher and shooter's final attack, 30% for 1 turn. Like, it is so unique in the terms the debuffs it can do, and it can even help you with resilience. So it has a lot of unique uses, and as a bonus, as long as the captain is shooter slasher, or more realistically slasher free spirit, you do end up getting a lot of extra damage too, but I will agree that that's pretty harsh. But they are definitely the best unit to use. Like, if you have one of these rear debuffs, if you have a chain debuff, if you have poison, resilience, blindness, and you want to remove them, you can use Rise of Shinobu. And as long as captain is a very common class, you will handle it. And of course you can use themselves as captain, and they have the ability to reduce increased defense if a unit has Barrier Pen, but definitely not good enough to get a point for captain, I would say that much. Should the next Kisuna be this one from Blackbeard? No. I don't think they added Kaido at least, but feel free to check the shop. But usually it takes a bit for them to add it, so if it's not added now, it will be added now in March for the Kisuna. But at the same time, there's a lot of units who does this without needing anything special, so I still don't feel like they should get a point. It's more like, do I give them a point for their uniqueness? Because every time I put them in, there's basically no other good option, so yeah. I feel like I'll give them a point for that. A point for uniqueness. That's all I can justify, but I feel like I've used them a lot. Enough for them to warrant something at least. I won't give them a point for Super Boss until I've had the chance to actually put them on a team myself. Hiyori, I feel like have got a lot of points already, but I feel like this has proven to be quite accurate too, so I'm not going to change it. Momo, haven't had a chance to use a lot yet. Might get a point for Grand Voyage. We'll see if I do something with him. Now when I own him. Still not the biggest fan of his kit. I feel pretty good about Kobe as well. Category Oven has their point for Kisuna. Or for Grand Voyage. They've been able to clear Grand Voyage Arlong as captain, amazingly enough. I do feel like they also should get a point for uniqueness. Very few units do what they do with built-in special refresh and such. So I will add a point for that as well. Kata Oven, a point for uniqueness as well. We just went through V12 Luffy, the V2 red one. Not going to remove any points there. Shanks. Still not a believer in Super Boss. And as a sub, he's pretty meh. Can take a look at the special, I guess, for Shanks. Should he get one? Should he get a point for his special? Let's take a look. But yeah, basically Shanks do want to be captain so he can get his special back. So you can use his special twice. That's the big gimmick of this legend. The special removes defense reduction, debuff protection, duration immediate completely. Ignores defense reduction and debuff protection. It reduces defense of all enemies by 1% for 2 turns. I'm pretty sure it ignores full immunity too. Locks all orbs for 1 turn. Like if Shanks only also gave a death down conditional, he'd be so good. If your crew has an ore boost and use a special, you increased the chain growth rate by 1.5 times for 2 turns, which is pretty good. And boost the ore boost. Otherwise, you just do an ore boost. So it's kind of weird, like as a captain, his special is really good since you can get it twice. But if you only count the special as getting one effect, it's just not that great. You lock orbs, you set defense to 0 to full immunity, and you get an orb boost or increased chain growth rate. So it's him as captain that elevates him, but in a vacuum, his special is not that great. Not like Luffy, for example, where both effects are really good. Well, we can take a look at Luffy just because of that. But I remember rating Luffy's special a lot higher. We're talking about the V2 Film Red Luffy special. And yeah, he does inflict increased damage taken through full immunity. And that alone basically makes any unit get a point for their special. But not only that, you get a full board of tandem orbs, which is super valuable. You get an attack boost, and if you have an attack boost, you get a good chain boundary. So yeah, Luffy's special is cracked. Shanks is good if he's captain, but Luffy could even be a sub and be usable, which is why he gets a point for being a crewmate as well. Paul has been running a bit. It's 12 votes. I'd like it to be an uneven number of votes so we don't tie. At the same time, if it does tie, I guess I decide. So I guess we can end this vote. And I see it's a big win anyway, so sure. Okay. Roger Odin is getting another point. I think it's well deserved, to be honest. Roger plus Odin. And yeah, it should be Kata plus Owen. And Ryza plus Shinobu. It might look nitpicky, but this is important for me. Like Nami / Robin, that signifies a duo unit, while the plus signifies a fake duo. I think that's an important distinction, personally at least. Ein, I need to own and test to give more, but in a vacuum, that unit is super duper cool and definitely viable to use. It's just that I'm trying to think, like, where do I use it? Maybe in PKA, but yeah, I haven't seen anyone use it and I can't use her myself. Namikarina, I finally own her, so I need to start using her. The most questionable point here is the captain point. But they can dupe, and I've seen people use Namikarina as captain for this Kizuna to potentially get dupes. And she's a better captain thanks to her potential ability to reduce her CD, which means that Namikarina can always be used as captain and then use her special, despite not being boosted, which is a huge boon. So overall, like, I'm not changing anything else, but we'll see about that captain point long term. Kizaru Fuji, I gave them a PvP point a while back. And they have a unique mechanic, it's just bad. And yeah, I'm not going to do anything more with them. We're not going to take a look at too many more now. We'll see what we do after we've taken a look at these. Yeah, I shall also try and use Namikarina captains in treasure map. Maybe not next one, since it's going to be a World Cruise treasure map, so I only care about speed. But after that, for sure, just get as many drops as possible. V2 Uta, not going to change anything. I even tried her out in Grand Party, and I think I proved she's one of the best leaders. You should probably not use her, but should we only really give Grand Party points to one single unit? I think that's a bit low. It's a monthly mode, so it should give more points than that. And other than that, I see no reason to remove anything from this Uta. Kanjuro doesn't have many points. And I do like the design. He's very unique. He definitely has a niche in Super Boss. As we've seen, like they managed to make a Super Boss where if you didn't own Kanjuro, you couldn't make good teams. I think that speaks a lot, but we'll see if he ends up seeing use the coming year, otherwise we can remove that. But other than that, should we get anything more? It could be fun to try him in treasure map, but I have to try him first. Like, you can use support for a small attack boost and then just use Kanjuro to get a big one potentially, something like that. But yeah, I think this is good enough for now. Question is if he should get a special point or something, but it's a bit too niche, I'd say. As for the Super Sugar Kaido, the only point it doesn't have is crewmate viability, which I stand by. Kaido is not that great as a sub, I'd say. For the 3-star Kishna team that stumped it, I think he used Kaido as a sub. But I haven't really looked too closely at that team. I might do it ahead of next month. But that's some really specific shit if Kaido is a sub on a team like that. I'd say at least. We take a look at 2 more. Then we're done looking at the recent legends. Big Mom. Yeah, don't see her using treasure map. I feel like she could be used in PKA, but I haven't seen her used there yet. No other modes, that's true. And she's not a really fun unit. She's basically just, you can use 2 conditionals, nothing else. So I think that's fine. Kid Law. I've seen them see them be used a bit in PvP, but I don't think they're that great. Do you guys want to vote on Kid Law in PvP? I have no strong opinion on it. If someone in chat says they want to vote about it, we'll do a vote, otherwise I'll skip it. Trash map, I think that's fair, no reason to use them really. Don't think their captain is great, but we could double check the captain. Kid and Law captain ability. Yeah, nothing special, it's just that it's easy to use their super swap, but that's not enough to give a captain point. Like, you're forced to use them as captain, you don't want to use them as captain. You don't even need to use them as captain for their EX, it's just very annoying to use their EX. So, yeah, I think I'm pretty good with that. I'm pretty good. How long have I been streaming? An hour soon, pretty good. Not that many viewers, but that's me to blame. I haven't talked about this stream beforehand because I've said many times I'm going to stream and then it didn't happen for various reasons. So now I just went live, and then it's probably not like my tier list is probably not the most interesting thing for most people right now, but this is a way for me to try and build some interest for it. Okay, I think we'll go back to looking at the tier list, and unless we get some specific things people want to look at, I'll just decide some legends myself. I'm going to take a look, I guess, and see if there's something that looks weird that I want to take a look at again. And we're not going to look at Nami. I looked at her recently. There's no more points for this Nami to find. We can start from tier 6, I think, and take a look and go down, and we'll see if there's anything interesting. Oh, we got a question here. We'd like to know why Psy Film Red Luffy is so relatively high. Let's see if I can find him. They're tier 5. Let's take a look. We can take a look at Kizaru too. Like, this is what I enjoy. People wanting me to double check and me to argue the case. We start with Luffy. Let's take a look at the points. So we're going to do it like that. And we do a type red, and we shall get red Luffy. There is 5 points. No PvP point, fair. No treasure map point, fair. Super boss, I still feel like he could be viable to use as a captain, since you get a lot of buffs from this unit. Like, he handles all of the attack boost or boost, even buffs it to a very high number. Obviously, you will rather use the gear 5 and such, so I'd say this point is threatened. I think we should double check and see if I can actually justify this. Because power creep is indeed a consideration we have to make. So do we really feel like this Luffy should get a point? Let's see. Captain ability. Up to 5.5 times attack, so not the highest. Only when you use his special, which is pretty easy as captain. And basically if any Straw Hat or Shanks use a special, you can use Luffy's special again, and this works 5 times total, which for Super Bowl purposes is fine, but no utility in the captain. Special, lot of damage to one enemy. Sci-Fi to Free Spirit, 3.25 times attack for 1 turn. If your crew has attack up when the special activated, you instead get the 2.75 times ore boost for 1 turn. It's a shame it's so low. If you have both attack boost and ore boost, you change all orb including block to matching, and you buff both the attack up and the ore boost by plus 0.25 times. So basically 3.5 times attack and 3 times ore boost. Super special also helps with seed reduction, which mainly could be used for countering special reverse, stuff like that, I imagine. I feel split on this. I think this is a good time to do a vote. Start a vote. Should Psy Film Red Luffy get a point for Super Boss? I'm fine either way, and then it's good if you guys get to have some input. Poll is up. I'll keep it up for 5 minutes at least, and we can keep looking for now. No point in PKA, and honestly I could see him seeing use in PKA. We'll see in the future. He might get a future point here. It's just too easy to forget about this Luffy, but in a vacuum, his captain ability is pretty cracked in that you can use it so many times. And you shouldn't either underestimate the potential to use this Luffy with one of the gear 5s as well. Captain a point, I think that's more questionable. Yeah, honestly, I'd rather remove this captain point and put it in PKA, but I have to use him there first. So I think the captain point, special point, that's not good. This is the same case as the Shanks, and I didn't give the Shanks a point, so the Luffy should definitely not get a point. So yeah, I think we'll remove the point for both captain and special. I think that's fair. B1 Red Luffy. Remove a point for captain, remove a point for special, and maybe for Super Boss. In the future, maybe add a point for Pirate King Adventures, because I think that's more realistic. I can definitely see him being good at PKA on certain teams. The main reason I don't use legends like this is because it's not really accessible. But yeah, need to start having more fun with PKA in general. Like in general, PKA is probably my favorite mode in the game right now, at least team build for. So I should try and just make more legends look good in PKA if they have a viable use. So that's something I need to think about. Oh, it says on my computer it's going to be pollen tomorrow. That's rough. I should probably start taking my medication then. Maybe that's the reason why I've been more tired. It's not just that I've been sick, but that pollen is coming back. I'm going to Google in the middle of the stream just to check, because that's a pretty big deal for me. I wonder if it's called pollen in English. Let's see what it says. doesn't say that it should be. So yeah, maybe it's inaccurate. Anyway, back to stream. How many minutes have passed of the poll? 3 minutes. We keep it up a bit more. But yeah, that's some Luffy changes. We'll see what the poll decides, and we move on for now with Kizaru. That was requested that we talk about. So let's take a look at Kizaru. I do value Kizaru a lot, and I do use him a lot. So we'll see. V2 Kizaru, 7 points. No point in PvP. Point in treasure map. Low CD special with relevant utility and buffs is my own justification. But have I ever really used him myself? Like, in theory, yes, but like, I understand what I'm thinking here, but fact remains, I haven't used him for that. So yeah, I feel like I can't justify it, and if I can't justify it, we're removing it. So we remove TM point. PKA point, also, yes, I get it, but I haven't used him for any PKA, and I haven't seen anyone use him either, so I can't justify that either. Other modes, and yes, he gets a point for Grand Voyage Kuro, which is fair. Special, yeah, we should double check the special, but I doubt I'll remove him for that. Remove it, but we can take a look. Kizaru. Special, 2 stages, and it's very important to note that the stage 1 special is just 7 CD, and it's a 7 CD special that reduces CD by 1 turn, reduces special bind by 5 turns, and gives a good color affinity and chain boost. Like, that alone is super good, and then you also have the option of getting a stronger color affinity and chain boost, and also reducing special bind by 10 turns. So I do stand by giving a point for that. Like, just the level 1 special, in my opinion, is worth a point, and he has the option of getting an even better one. So I stand by Kizaru getting a point for the special. Also a good sub. Also unique, nobody else has that good 7 CD special. And I like him, so. We did dock a few points though, so makes me a bit sad. I like him, but yeah, if I can't justify it, I can't give a point. So yeah, let's end the poll now. Okay, we're removing another point. RIP Filmed Red Luffy. +1 point for poster games. Yeah, that's a good one. Obviously not taking that in account, but removing a point for RIP Film Red Luffy. That's a lot of lost points, but yeah, that's how it goes in tier list. You both go up and down. The goal of tier list should be to like show how good the unit is right now in terms of points. Okay, go back to the tier list now, I guess. And as said, if you have anything you want me to take a look at, just shout it out. Otherwise, I'll start looking from tier 6 and work my way down. And I'm mainly going to look for stuff that looks like they might have too many or too little points. And one unit that sticks out like a sore thumb here is Nami Usopp. So let's take a look at them, I guess. Nami Usopp. They get points for Super Boss. And They do get use in Superboss. Maybe not recently, but recent enough, so I'm not going to remove that. PKA, they've also seen use there, for sure. Other modes, and as for Grand Voyage Local Sea Monster, not really that great anymore, so I might actually remove that. Like, will you build a good team with Nami Usopp for Local Sea Monster today? Like, for the OG teams, sure, but those are super old now, so I can actually... I've never done this before, but let's remove a point for other modes. Very, very rare, but especially removing for Grand Voyage. But I think that's fair, no reason to use them there anymore. Bad Cap, special, still good in a vacuum, especially if you add a swap to it. Good sub, uniqueness. Should they have a point for uniqueness? Have you revisited Lockheed? Yes, I just revisited them. Were we changing anything? Oh yeah, I did ask if you guys think we should vote about them in PvP, since I do see them used in PvP, but I don't think they should get a point. But if you want a vote on Lockheed in PvP, I could do that. Otherwise, I'm not touching them, not taking anything, not giving anything. So Nami Usopp, I'm going to check their special. Is this really a unique hit? Let's see. Paralysis on enemies, that's pretty irrelevant, and a lot of units do it now. You delay enemies, but not through full immunity. Reduce paralysis and special bind by 6 turns. Color affinity. Like, if you look at it in a vacuum, it's a color affinity booster for 2 clauses that can reduce paralysis and special bind. Of course, we need to take account the swap, but it does not add a lot. So yeah, I think we'll dock another point for that. They are not a super unique unit. The main unique thing about them is that they are a straw hat, and that's pretty useful in general. So yeah, we're actually nerfing a few units, which feels good. It's not a good tier list if you just give units more points and never remove points. So, like, my plans for March is that we're going to look at the top stuff and see if we can dock anything from them. Jefferson says, I use Lockheed in PvP a good bit. On the Free Spirit team, anytime I play against Driven Powers team, I switch out Odin for them for an easy win. Yeah, I know I've seen them, and in theory, they are quite good, but in reality, I've not felt that myself. But I really have no strong opinion here, so we can do another vote. Should Lockheed get a point for PvP? Yes, no. There we go. Vote is up. And I feel done with Nami Usopp, so let's continue. Is there anything in tier 6 I should have a look? I feel pretty confident with Big Mom. I took my time with this since I know it was controversial. I've taken a lot of looks at Nami, I'm not doing that again. And there's nothing else that looks very weird, maybe Hina. I guess we can take a look at Hina. Hina, oops. There we go. Hina got a point for PvP, which I'm not going to change yet, even if she's falling out of flavor now. It feels like Boa is taking Hina's place on the cerebral teams. Treasure Map, she's a permanent booster, so that's an obvious point. PKA, yeah, I can see that. The main thing with Hina is that it's still amazing that you can run Hina Captain and then put Hiyori sub, and you're guaranteed to keep 1 orbs for the entire run. But it's another unit I have to try to make it actually happen. I need to sometime I need to write a list of units to keep in mind, to use, and show that they can be used in PKA. Let's see. And yes, she's also a cerebral booster, so she can easily work with theory. Super special. She can get a delay conditional for 2 turns. And then she can also delay with Captain, of course, if you do enough damage, which is a shame that it's not through full immunity. What more points do I give to Hina? A Captain point. I guess it's for the orb lock, and it is unique. And she can delay to full immunity, so I don't feel like I want to change it at this point. She is unique, and I do think it's very cool that she can lock orbs. So Captain and PKA point are a bit sus, but at this point I'm not going to remove them. That's my take on it. Hello there, Kaito, welcome. I'm taking a look at some tier 6 units. I'm going to move to tier 5 now. If there's any unit here you feel like you want me to take a look at, just give me a shout out. Who do we take a look at? Feels like there's a lot we can take a look at in tier 5, honestly. I'm not going to take a look at Komu. I feel confident with this placement. Maybe Blackbeard. V2 Blackbeard, what points did he get? Treasure map points. Sai Miniboss Destroyer, which is true. But I don't feel like that's a relevant use case anymore. And I much rather use the Treasure map free-to-play Blackbeard now. Like, it's true he destroys, but do you put... he's really not doing enough damage anymore. It's better to just use Sengoku or something, so I think we'll remove that point. Remove the treasure map points. What other points do I give Blackbeard? Grand Voyage Luffy, and yeah, I do feel like he should keep that point, so you can see he's one of the better options as captain there. Gets a special point, that feels very sus. Blackbeard, let's read his special again. We're looking at V2 Blackbeard, by the way. Reduces threshold by 7 turns. Changes to a matching orb. 3.5 times attack and orb boost up to 4 times. I don't know, I just don't feel like he's super relevant. So I feel like we should move him down quite a bit. I think I'll lock point for both special and crewmates. So he's losing a lot of points, but I think that's fair. Still very unique, and I do... Did I give him a Chauzu point? I can give him that instead, because I do think he's fun to use, so he gets a Chauzu point. Chauzu point is the only point I can use to, like, influence the tier a bit. The rest is supposed to be objective, or objective from my point of view. You can take a look at Annie's Sorrow. 5 points right. Feel like he's been power crept a bit now with Sorrow Sanji. Dex Superclass there is. PvP points. Should he have a PvP point? Speaking of that, we should probably end the poll. I think it's been enough time now. 5 minutes? Yeah, let's end it. Okay, PvP point to Lion Kid. It's said and done. I'll add it to my list for next month. Okay. But yeah, I feel like Annie's Sorrow going to lose some points here. But yeah, like, is he viable in PvP anymore? Is there any reason to use this Zoro over Zoro Sanji in PvP? Speed attack HP to slashers, not super great. Special, just damage. Yeah, I think we're docking a PvP point from this Zoro. He's just been power crept. Yeah, I can see the case for Lockheed in PvP. It's just a unit I've counted out myself, but maybe I should revisit them. Ani Zoro. We're removing a point for PvP. What else does he get points for? Gets the point for Super Boss. And we need to look at the special because I feel like he has lost his viability now. Let's look at this special. Increases the increase chain growth rate and boost the chain multiplier growth rate. I need to do another window for Zoro Sanji. We're talking the best legend in the game here, basically, and comparing them to an older Zoro legend. So, let's see here. Dear Special. Do form. Yeah, don't they get its own buffs from the Super Swap? I haven't used Zoro Sanji in a while now. Super Swap. No, we just get the attack and ore boost, yeah. And full board of tandem. Special. Lots of damage to enemies. Reduces threshold and increased defense. Boost your attack and ore boost. You get an chain multiplier boost 1.75 times 1 turn. And gets a chain boost. So I guess Ani Zoro has one special that Zoro Sanji doesn't have. What did the EX does? Doesn't the EX give that boost? Let's take a look. There's so much text. EX there. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this Zoro is just outclassed now with Zoro Sanji releasing. So there's point for special and sub. And there's a point for uniqueness. Like, it feels sad to say, but I feel like we're removing all of these points. Like, I'm trying to think, like, would you ever want to use this Zoro instead of Zoro Sanji? Yeah, that's my take, Sam. That lost a lot of viability. Yeah, the issue with Zoro Sanji in PvP is that Zoro Sanji exists and they are just better. So I wouldn't really, and like if you replace Zoro Sanji with anything, like it wouldn't be with Zoro. Like the only reason Zoro was used in PvP from the beginning was that slashers had no subs, but now slasher is going to move more and more to 8 units. I made a video with that as well for the future. So the question is, like, what points should Zoro get now when he's totally outclassed? Does he have any niche at all? Like, from the way I see it, there's literally no reason to use this Zoro anymore. Feel free to correct me, but like, that's my take. Like, they are basically doing the same thing. It's just that Chauzu does everything better. I feel like this Zoro is going to drop to 0 points. I can't justify a single point for this Zoro. And this Zoro, like, he's just going down, removing everything. Like, if you ever want to defend any Zoro, like, do it, but why will you use anything other than Zoro Sanji? And it's not even unique now because Zoro Sanji does it better. So yeah, that's a massacre, losing every single point, but I don't see any viability for this unit anymore. It's very sad to say, but that's my take on it. Like, it's even a different situation from, say, Rush Sanji, because obviously Rush Sanji and Zoro Sanji also compete a bit, but you can at least use them together. And Sanji does add a rush, he adds the chain boundary, and you can use either Zoro Sanji or Rush Sanji as friend captain, but there's literally no reason to use any Zoro with Zoro Sanji. So it's very sad, but yeah, and Zoro is dead. He's been massacred. It's funny stuff like that, like I didn't think much about it, but when you think about it, like, no reason to be here anymore. Okay, if we take back the... Oh, that image just went down. There we go. Seeing my boy Zoro Sanji totally massacred. I feel like we've done a lot of good work. Let's take a look at the tier list. It's currently at the changes I've done today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And then we're getting some new legends. I feel like this is a very well work for one day. So I do feel pretty satisfied. So yeah. So this is basically last chance for you guys. Anything else you want to add? Otherwise, I feel like my work ahead of next month's tier list is basically done. I'm just going to add the points for the new units later. And then on March 1st, I'm going to upload a March tier list for my members. And of course, if you actually want to watch the video to get my takes on the newest legends and these changes, you do need to be a member. And if you are a member, you do get 2 tier list videos per month. Like this month, we had both the legend tier list February 1st, and then last week I uploaded a Kisna free-to-play tier list, and you guys get to vote on what extra tier list I do. And yeah, these are just bonuses. I still do the same contests as I always do, but I want to reward the people who support me extra. And as a bonus, if you are a member, you get to use my emotes. I got 6 so far. Can show them off right away here. And yeah, basically I have 3 tiers of membership, and the cheapest tier, it's just like around €2, $2, and that's all you need to get the tier list videos. I didn't want it to become expensive to get all of that. Any chance of getting a Pong emote in the future? Yes, but I need to find a good one. I think I have one more spot, unless I've lost it, so maybe we can make something happen. But yeah, I don't have any more Pog emote on my Discord server as well, so we'll see what we can find. I haven't got a lot of new members recently, which makes sense because members are usually tied to streaming, and I haven't been able to stream, but hopefully can pick up again. But yeah, it feels good having the ability to get members who support you extra, and I like that everything is on YouTube rather than use Patreon and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to keep doing that for the foreseeable future, and we'll see after that. But I feel pretty happy with this stream. Feels good to get going again, and I wanted to do this for a long time. And next week, we'll see. Maybe I'll do a Blitz stream. We have to see a bit, like, will the Blitz count for World Cruise or not? That changes things a lot for me. Like, if it is a World Cruise event, I have to go try hard as much as I can. So I probably won't have any time to upload teams for you guys. But if it's a normal Blitz, I'm going to make a lot of teams for you guys for sure. I'm probably still going to try and get top 100 since I will probably have everything. But yeah, shouldn't be too hard. Hopefully the mouse problem won't come back. Yeah, I hope so. Like, it's getting hotter in Sweden, and as it gets hotter, the mouses don't really have any reason to enter these apartment buildings. But yeah, we'll see. And I hope for next year that we can mouse-proof these houses so they can't even enter at all. Then I'll be able to stream as much as I want, basically. Right now, I still don't want to live here, but yeah, thanks all of you for joining. I'm happy we could finally do this. Later today, we're going to have a video about the new Burgess, a deep dive into Burgess. And then we'll see what we have tomorrow. We should get the full news about Anisugo Part 1. So I'll probably do a video on that. But I do have a lot of videos prepared for the future if I do need to farm a lot for the World Cruise. So it feels good to have a backlog again. A lot of videos to use if I don't have time to make one or don't feel like it, stuff like that. But yeah, thanks all of you for joining, and I'll see you again next week. Crossing fingers for that. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.